Good morning. Well, I made it to the farm here and Phil already had the dryer running. He had every intention of showing you guys the whole startup procedure, but it's done. So I'll show you how it works here. We'll go around stuff a little bit, but right now we're just kind of running it a little bit slow, letting everything prime and getting everything up to temperature and hot until we start getting dry corn out the bottom of it. So far so good. Starting to get some steam. We're building heat here. You can see all the corn in these triangles. Probably hear the wind blowing out of them too. But you see it just kind of keeps funneling down through those metering holes and out our drags. We're running at a pretty good speed right now because that corn that we put in there was pretty dry. Here's all our gas valves. You can see the big fire. It's hot. The valve here is constantly adjusting the flame. Up there it's bigger to keep the temperature right inside there. Alright, so we've got all these fans underneath here. They blow air up through the corn into that center. The air exhausts through those vents on the side. This is our control panel. I'll walk through this sometime a little bit right now, but basically we've got burner control, we've got temperature control, we've got a VFD that controls the metering rolls and all the switches. Once the corn comes out of the dryer, it goes up the leg, and we're putting it in our wet bin right now. We're building a dry cone, or we're filling it up enough to get a dry cone, let's say. So over here, this is our DM510 Dryer Master controller. And we've got some errors right now because of moistures and stuff, but this is what controls the rate of the dryer as it's running. So right now we're running about 982 bushels per hour through it, but it's 16% going in, 16% coming out. So we got to get it warmed up. All right, well, Phil's going to keep that dryer moving, which there's not a lot to do, but until we get our dry cone built in that wet bin there, we've got to just feed it when it needs it. So he's going to do that. I'm going to take this truck and go unload the grain cart, so he's got a little bit more corn to run through there. Get that right now. It is cold today, like burr. I should have wore a heavier coat. We had a hard frost this morning. Anything that was still alive, it's dead now. Somebody asked me in the comments on today's video, this morning's, how much does our grain cart hold? Well, about that much. I don't know why I just did that, but 64,500 pounds is what we've got in there, and I don't think I could get too much more in it. Well, the test weight must not be too bad on this corn either, because I don't have it heaped clear full, and all that fit in that truck. 64,000 pounds. We're not going on a road. All we have to do is drive around the bins, so it's heavy. It's overloaded. Well, our dryer is getting closer here. Our outlet moisture is down to 14.8. We over dry stuff when we first start because it's going in the bottom of the bin, and it's probably going to set here until August. So we want it to make sure it keeps good. And our inlet's up to 19, where everything's working good. Just waiting for it to learn its model so we can put it in automatic mode. Okay, Phil's gonna keep that dryer moving for the rest of the morning or until we run out of wet corn here, and we can yeah. Once we get enough corn in that wet bin that we can suck out the center and get the dry cone, so everything that's left in there after we pull out the center that doesn't come out, that's what we call our dry cone, and we're gonna let that there until well, for a while, because then we put wet corn in and it will all funnel out. We won't have wet corn sitting in the bottom of that bin that we can't get out without running a sweep auger. That's the whole point here. So after that, then we can use our wet bin for feeding the dryer, and everything's automated and it goes much faster and easier. But until we get that set up, it's a little slow because we'll have to shut down the dryer to suck that dry corn out of there and form that cone. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is, while I'm waiting for him to get that done here this morning, and we can't go shell corn yet because we're waiting on that, I'm going to take care of some seed business stuff because I have a early pay deadline rapidly approaching, and I gotta get this stuff done. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. Mechanic's here working on our combine. Let's see what he's figuring out. All right, well, we were just leaving the field back there. Ran through some calibrations on the transmission stuff, swapped a couple of solenoid valves, still doing it. So there's a pressure regulating valve, which sounds like it could be the problem, but we'll have to get one to swap it in and try it and see if that fixes anything. Something. But I'm gonna run it today like it is. We'll see if it's any different after all this calibrations and stuff that we ran. And then probably tomorrow morning I'll try and get a valve and swap in there. All right, well, the dryer is shut down. Phil got enough dry corn dried into our wet bin there. He is sucking out what's excess, I guess. That will give us a cone in the bottom there for wet corn. He had like a half a load of stuff left in the truck that is not dried. So when he gets that sucked out, we'll put that in there, and then we will be ready to go and shell the rest of the day. I am gonna go grab something to eat quick, come back, and it'll be time to go. All right, well, it's time to go again. Dad's gonna shell, he's over there. I'm gonna run grain cart today, it looks like, and Phil's gonna run trucks. So we got our dryer ready to go. We've got the wet bin all ready. Phil's even got a half a load of wet corn in it. We're gonna get another full load of corn shelled here and put in that bin, and then we'll get the dryer started up and running, so it will have plenty to keep moving, and should get this field done today. There should only be like 55 acres here, so I don't know if we'll do more than that or not, but at least we'll get something done. Such a different ball game in good corn. Like, grain cart driver needs to be a little bit more on their toes out here, because he can't make rounds, so he'll get full. You gotta be there. We always like dumping as close to the trucks as possible, but sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. Still moving along fairly well here. Working on the, I don't know, fourth truck, third truck, something like that. Dad came on the radio and said he's got a code up on the combine, something with a transmission code, temperature, sensor, voltage, something or other. Sounds like we bumped a wire when we were working on it here this morning, so I'm gonna get out and check it here on the end of the field. Well, I found the problem with the code. I don't know about the other problem, but that sensor is flat broke off. Alright, well, we'll have to get one of them. Put the cover back on, keep running it. Windy. We're breaking a new hole in so we can keep dumping going that way towards the trucks. And I don't like making that tight turn in just 16 or 24 rows. So I drove all the way down here to the end. I'm gonna walk down to the combine, jump in with Dad real quick because my phone charger is in there and I need it. Whoa! Look at that one. Moving! Crappy corn on the end here, but that's okay. Alright. Now we gotta catch him. Get back in the grain cart. Got my cords. Well, we're doing pretty good here. This must be good corn. He's getting full. We gotta hurry up. Trees right there. We're getting this field done. So when we're first starting like this, kind of gotta wait for them to go past, so I got room to turn. Hurry up, hurry up. Made it, just barely. Okay. Sometimes when I slow down too much. All right, going well here. Other than that, trying to charge both my phone and my iPad off of one charger. I think I killed this one. It wasn't working, so I got the one out of the combine, and we'll see. Hopefully it keeps up. So one of the cool things about our dryer is that it has a online or a mobile option, I guess, where I can check on it. Basically, whatever that dryer master DM510 will tell us in our grain shed there, I can see out here in the field or wherever I'm at just by pulling up the mobile app website. So right now its output moisture is still 13.5. Inlet going in 19.4. We're putting through 1,220 bushels per hour. It's running in automatic mode at 181 degree plenum temperature. So that means the air temperature going up in the center is 181 degrees. It'll also show me some charts. This chart, the green line is our inlet moisture. The blue line is our outlet moisture. The black line is our target. So what we want to see is for that blue line and black line to come together. And you can see where we got a little dry. That's from the grain that we had initially. Started out, it was a little wet, but not terrible. And then it got over dry because we already had dry corn in there and we ran it. We knew that would happen. This is where we shut it off to empty the wet bin out right before we started shelling corn. And then here, and you can see that line just keeps slowly working its way up. It'll probably come up and go a little bit too wet, but eventually it'll settle in right on top of it, and it's pretty accurate after that. This chart here is our discharge rate, so you can kind of see how it's changed over time. This was this morning. Then this is where we put it into auto mode. It slowly kept ramping up. Then we shut it down, and then we started it back up, and then it's kind of slowly starting to work back up now. And then down here at the bottom, it tells us what our set point moisture is, crop, I believe that's what bin we're going into, and what its predicted moisture is. So it makes a model of what it thinks the moisture should be coming out of that dryer based on the inlet moisture up here and the temperature and stuff. So it's going to predict how dry that corn should be when it's coming out the bottom. So right now it's actually 13.5. It thinks it should be 14.1. So it's still learning, it's still figuring that out. That's just because it's first day startup stuff. Usually those two numbers come together pretty good. If they get farther than 2 points difference, then it'll kick itself out of auto mode because it's like, I don't know enough. I can't do this right now. So, but anyway, it's cool that I can see that the dryer is running and kind of watch how good a job it's doing from here. And 13.6 is a little bit too dry, but again, we're putting this on the bottom of a bin. It's going to be there for a long time. And so we usually try and dry stuff to 14 and a half when we're getting started anyway. So 13.5 is not too bad. Well, we made it before dark. It's finishing the last pass up right now. We'll meet them on the other end of the field, get the combine empty. And I don't know what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna go do this stuff by where my barn or where my house is gonna go. I think that's what I'm gonna do. We'll see what Dad wants to do. What time is it? About 7 o'clock. Done. Did we stay above 170?
75.7.
Well, that's pretty good. We ought to be happy with that, right?
That's good. I'm satisfied with it.
All right, well, good deal. Well, why don't you drive the combine up to the farm, and I'll unload this and meet you up there, and then I would like to go down and do that stuff around my barn, open up that, and around my plot, and then we can decide from there.
All right, why don't you take the grain cart over there, and I'll pick you up.
Okay, that'll work. There you go. There's the plan. All right, let's do this. There's not much here that we can combine. Most of it is plot, but there's enough, and I have a reason to get it out, so we're gonna do it. Nice corn here. I swear I just saw a 300 up there. Anyway, for those of you who may not know what I was talking about earlier or why we're here, but or if you missed it a couple of days ago, I made the announcement that my wife and I are getting ready to build a house. We're going to break ground in the spring, and it's going to go somewhere right in there. This is where my seed warehouse is. There you can kind of see it. We're just down the road from our farm, and yeah, so that's kind of the plan here, and that's why I want to get this corn out now so I can get these corn stalks mowed down and kind of start flagging stuff out on where it is going to go. Yeah. Okay, this is the last pass before some of my different trials and plot stuff starts. So I got all the ends off and everything that's not plot, basically, which is a third of the field. We got 5.5 acres done, 11 acres left. So anyway, I think we might call it here good for the night. Goes down here with the cart. I think we might be done. Well, look at that yield map. That's dirt. We got real green and real purple. And everything in the center is plot. That purple spot right there, yeah. That's where my house is going. Do you guys see what I see? Do you see it? You see those green lights? They work! So, under there on the transmission, there is a valve that we're going to take out, and I'm going to swap out with Combine at the dealer and see if that fixes our surging problem, so we know if it's what we got to buy or not. And just for all you safety police out there, there you go. Stop is down. Okay, not just for you, but just so you know that I am doing it. It is still, you know, the safe thing to do. This one right here. That's what we're after. We think that might be the problem. It is a pressure regulating valve, which sounds like it could be the problem. So I'm going to take it out, hope that it doesn't leak a bunch of oil, because if it does, then I got to find a plug. And we're going to take it up to the dealer in the morning. We're going to take one off of a Combine on their lot, swap them out, and see if that fixes our problem. If it does, I'll buy them a new one. If it doesn't, we'll probably leave it or switch them back, whatever. Before I get to that, though, we're going to go out here to the grain system and just take a look and see how stuff is going. Those lights, though, that is so awesome. It makes me so happy that those are working as well as they are. So now that we have wet corn in our wet bin, when the dryer gets low and that light comes on, it turns on our unloading auger. This leg runs constantly. So that'll run and it'll fill the dryer up until the dryer says, oh, I'm full, I don't need any more. That light goes off, the auger turns off. Everything looks like it's running good. We're at 176 degrees, running 1,600 bushel an hour through it. That is fantastic. Everything in here looks good. We're all in ready, run, auto, whatever. Coming out at 14.3 when we're set at 14.5. That's pretty good. Set point. Coming in at 20. Look at that, 1,600 bushel an hour. We've never gotten that kind of volume out of this dryer. That is awesome. And pretty good corn. 56.5, 57 pound test weights. That's good. And that field averaged 175, something like that. I'm pretty happy with that. Right now we're filling this bin over here. I'm sure there's not a whole lot in it yet, but it might have made it out to the sidewall. Yeah. Holy cow, there's more than I thought. All the way up to there. We got a ring and a half in there already. Awesome. So now we're dumping the truck, and it's really hard to show you from here, but basically up on top where our distributor is, the pipe that goes to the dryer and the pipe that goes to the wet bin are tied together, and there's an overflow valve in there. So it wants to go to the dryer, but once that pipe gets full of corn, it overflows and comes into here, which is why this system works, because when we're not unloading a truck and the dryer needs corn, it starts pulling out of the wet bin, and then it goes back up and down the same pipe to the same hole in the distributor, but this time it goes to the dryer because that pipe is empty. And then when the dryer says, hey, I'm full, it shuts off so that it's not just recirculating corn. Otherwise, that auger would run all the time, and it would fill the pipe, and then some would overflow back into here, and you'd just be handling it over and over and over again. I cannot tell you how happy this makes me and how excited I am that those lights are working like I want them to. That is so cool. All right, time to see if we can get that. Oh, that's not near as big as I thought it was. What size is it gonna be? 24 millimeter, maybe. For some reason, John Deere doesn't put service lights underneath the feeder house. Not 24 millimeters, bigger. Dang it. All right. Let's try an inch. It's likely metric. Well, maybe not. Hydraulic fittings generally are not metric. That first wrench I had was 1 1/8 and it didn't work. And I don't have any bigger metric. 24 is the biggest one I got, I think. I might have a 26. I don't know. Anyway, we'll try inch. Inch it is. Which may or may not actually be 26 millimeter, which would be like 25.6 millimeters per inch, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I got it. Now, how much oil is going to come out of there? Try and get the dust off before we contaminate the whole system. Oh, that looks promising. Okay. Well, that may or may not be our problem. We'll find out. I'm gonna put a rag in there. Oh, it is gonna leak some oil. Shoot. If it's gonna leak oil, I gotta plug it because it's gonna sit overnight and I don't want to drain the whole hydraulic system. Oh, well, look at that. I went to go find a plug and it stopped. And it actually went down. Okay, cool. I don't need a plug. I might put this one in if it fits. It does. Well, I'll screw it in there anyway because it'll keep the dirt out. But I'm not too worried about it. Throw a rag on it. Okay. The other thing we need is that temperature sensor, which is right here. I wonder if I can get that one out. Let's take that cover off, I'm sure. One would assume that oil is going to come out of there since it's the same cavity, but should not keep spewing. All right. Clearly, broke it right off. Get the other end off of the electrical plug there. And there's that. Okay. As long as nobody starts this up before I get back tomorrow, we should be good. All right. I'm going to take those with me. We'll run to the dealer first thing in the morning, and we'll come back and try them out, see if that fixes our problem. I do not think that this temperature sensor being broken is causing our issue. I think they're two separate things. All right, well, there's our parts. So we will make a trip to the dealer in the morning, like I said. I'm pretty suspicious that this is not going to fix our problem, but it's worth a shot. I think the word I was looking there for was skeptical, not suspicious. Sorry. Anyway, that's it tonight. I'm heading home. It's a little after 9. Phil's got the dryer shut down. No reason to let it run late when we're going to be slow getting started in the morning. He'll just start it up when he gets here. And it should be dang near caught up with us. That's awesome. That dryer, we've never had that dryer run so efficiently and quickly. We're taking 6 points of moisture out, running 1,600 bushel an hour through it at 180 degree plenum temperature. Like, we've almost always run it at 200 degrees temperature, plenum temperature. And granted, we've been taking a lot more moisture out because, like last year especially, most of our corn was 25 to 30% moisture. But we were lucky to get 500 or 600 bushel an hour out of it a lot of times. So it's awesome. It's going to keep up really well. I hope all of our corn stays relatively dry like that. So anyway, have a great night, everybody. If you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. Be sure and like and subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. I would really, really like to get to 15,000 by the time we're done with harvest. That means we've got just a few weeks. So help it get there, please. And make sure you check back tomorrow. We'll have another one. Hope you guys are enjoying them. If there's something specific you want to see or want me to talk about, let me know in the comments down below. Test weight is on my list of things yet. I just haven't had a date to do it. So it's coming, but let me know what else. See you guys.